People of color are faced with hardships and dangers from the color of their skin. Their lives are at risk because of the color of their skin. Would you want to be scared to live because of something you're born with? Something out of your control? I've listened to stories from my family about how we've been discriminated against, how being Mexican in the United States can be scary. On Monday, I attended a peaceful protest in Ellensburg to support the Black Lives Movement. And at the end, we listened to the stories of people of color who have been discriminated against. Here's some pictures of the protest. There's a picture of a lady sharing her story. It was horrifying to listen to them in the stories because I've never had to face something like that. The Black Lives Matter movement supports and fights for equality and rights for people of color. People of color are treated differently based on biases and stereotypes and racism. Racism and lack of rights for people of color are shown through police brutality, and white privilege is real and noticeable throughout the United States. People of color are treated so differently because of their race and the assumptions that surround them. People of color can receive insufficient medical care because of the stereotypes that surround them. It is less likely for a black man to receive pain medication than a white man. Children of color can receive different or wrongful education because of the color of their skin. The punishment that they receive can be harsher or even wrong. People of color can be treated different in a court of law because of the stereotypes that surround them. Increasing the dialogue and comfort in talking about these types of situations is important. More attention needs to be paid to this content and this effectiveness of this education. It needs to be recognized. One of the main and most dangerous effects of stereotypes for people of color is police brutality. Police brutality affects people of color significantly because of racism and the carelessness that is shown to their rights. Black men and boys are more likely to be killed than white men and boys. Police may shoot twice as many black people as white people, even though there are 6 times more white people than black people in the US. When interacting with black people, police officers seem more likely to see harmless movements or even efforts to comply with their orders as threatening. This community needs to be involved in the big decisions surrounding the police force and voting for the rights for people of color. We need to train police members to be members of the community and not just people of violence. The name for the difference in treatment between white and black people is called white privilege. White people are treated with more respect and privilege than people of color. White privilege is not something that's earned or defined by a person's income or effort, but instead it's something you're born with. It's the color of your skin, something that's out of your control. And there are subtle ways in which white privilege shows, such as hair care products and cosmetics and varieties of food. When you go to the grocery store and you look down the shampoo aisle, there's a whole aisle filled for people that have straight or wavy hair. And then there's a small section that is for people who have curly hair, people of colors type of hair. Cosmetics, when you look at a range of foundation, there is more white shades than black shades or darker skinned shades. And yes, it's trying to be fixed, but it's still there and it's still noticeable. When you go to the grocery store, there is the variety of food is marketed towards white people and what white people want to consume, and not what black people and people of color are eating. White people are more often humanized, and granted the benefit of doubt, they're more likely to receive compassion and to survive mistakes. We need to be having conversations with other white people about white privilege, race, and racism. We need to be assertive and challenge racism in your community, in your workplace, and in your home. The United States is known for freedom and equality, and it's time that we see it. Race and stereotypes can no longer affect the rights and treatment of people of color. Black lives are being lost to racism and bias throughout the police force, and white privilege needs to be recognized and used for good. While big steps can be made in the Black Lives Matter movement, such as protesting or donations, little steps can be made too. Educating yourself and others is a great first step. Maybe signing a petition can be the next one.